It was my birthday this week, but get yourself the gift of nearly 300 extra videos and a new one every Tuesday. Or sign up for free for a preview of what you're missing. Support The Habit at patreon.com/dosabuckley. If you could bet on who would be the first streamer to murder someone during a live broadcast, and I'm surprised that Polymarket doesn't have that option, who would you have put your money on? The safe bet, of course, would be someone like Jack Doherty, texting as he hydroplanes his sports car through 2 lanes of traffic, or launching himself towards a gas station on his dirt bike. Nothing could have gone wrong there. Or Extra Emily, reading and responding to her chat while running red lights. I'd have figured for sure she'd do her kooky, should I keep driving? Shtick after running through 6 kids in a school zone. Remember when streamers would just play video games? No one's ever gotten hurt or died doing that. Except for that guy in South Korea who played StarCraft for 50 hours. But anyway, as streamers escalate to bigger and dumber pranks and stunts to try and draw an audience from the other 7 million streamers who are all trying to make a name for themselves, it was inevitable that a stream would end in some form of tragedy. And of course, it happened on the world's shittiest streaming site. We'll talk more about that honor in a second. A French streamer named Jean Pormanove, real name Raphael Graven, died during the middle of a multi-day marathon stream on Kick, where he was collaborating with a number of other so-called content creators. Now, when I say in the middle of it, I mean they basically broadcast his corpse for, I don't even know, several minutes, several hours. The CNN article says that viewers donated money to send messages alerting the sleeping streamers to Pormanove's condition. So they were doing a marathon stream, and during large chunks of it, they sleep. And people watch them sleep. And to try and make it more interesting, I mean, what could be more interesting than watching 4 men sleep in a pile? They do things like this. This video was taken on day 7 of the stream. Someone donates 10 euros, about $12 US, and then this man with a fake Santa beard on starts playing a recorder to try and wake everyone up. He starts fucking with one guy's sheets and flicking his ear. I believe that Jean is the guy that we see sitting on his phone, who the pie-fed piper at one point puts his feet in his face. Then, guy who I'm pretty sure is Jean gets all pissed off and leaves. If you've never watched a live stream before, possibly due to the fact that you're employed or have real-life family or friends, the way they work is, in order to really get someone's attention when they're streaming, is you have to send them a donation. Then some stupid alert will play, or like a dumb little GIF will show up. Maybe they'll have some sort of notification set up on their phone. But anyway, then the streamer will read the text that came with the donation. And so, at the point where he died, I guess they were all sleeping. So, they had to send money to set off the stupid alerts to try and wake someone up to go, check on your friend, I don't think he's just sleeping anymore. And then apparently the stream ended pretty abruptly after that. All of this, by the way, for 30,000 euros. That was their goal over, I think, what was intended to be a 2-week stream. Anyway, about $35,000 US. Probably split among everyone participating. Maybe I've just led too privileged a life, I say as I enjoy a pack of ramen for dinner tonight. But split up, that's like $7,000 each. No fucking way I'd participate in some sort of Truman Show-esque marathon where people fuck with me while I sleep and do other dumb pranks to me for $7,000. But this is the desperate escalation that these streamers are doing in order to go viral, to get noticed. A New York Times article mentions that, back in January, French police arrested 2 of Jean's streaming partners over claims of violence and humiliation. But at the time, Jean, aka Raphael, told police that their actions were all staged to create buzz, and then went on to say that he makes upwards of $7,000 a month doing this, that he'd never been hurt, and that he was free to make his own decisions. A lot of the articles make it sound like Jean was the only target of these stunts and pranks, on his own streaming channel, by the way. CNN mentions that they watched a bunch of his videos where fellow streamers competed to see how long they could throttle him. I think they mean like choke him. Others show him being shot with paintballs or doused with water. Again, for $7,000? But anyway, as we saw in the video, they all seem to be getting fucked with at one point or another. Maybe Jean just gets more of it? Anyway, CNN also reports that in a video from last year, he was asked how he hoped to be remembered when he died. Ooh, spooky. And Jean replied, "Me, what's on my mind now, it's to leave a mark." The pursuit of fame, that's what drove him. So obsessed with being someone, so desperate for fame, that he'd participate in this kind of shit. Sleep deprivation challenges where someone revved a motorcycle engine and ran a leaf blower in the room to keep a bunch of grown men awake while other, presumably adults, watched along like a bunch of fucking slack-jawed baguette biters. I'm just gonna tell you right now, if you've ever spent any amount of time watching live footage of people sleeping, your bloodline doesn't need to be preserved. It's a total waste. But of course, this happened on Kick. Kick is effectively a streaming platform for people who've been kicked off legitimate platforms, which is kind of ironic because it's majority owned by an Australian dude. You know how Australia started as a penal colony for people that England didn't want living there anymore? That's what Kick basically is. All the worst people who can't get on other sites because, say, they were banned for promoting gambling to minors, or that they think the age of consent laws should be, if she bleeds, she breeds, right, Sneeko? People like that. That is who Kick takes. The woman I showed you who promised $20 to a homeless woman to jump in the lake and then of course didn't pay her, that was on Kick. Jack Doherty nearly killing his cameraman, who, by the way, turns out to be his brother, also on Kick. The site had another incident a few days later. A man by the name of Raja Jackson, UFC legend Quinton Rampage Jackson's son, was streaming live from the front row of a pro wrestling event where he says if he gets 50 subs, he'll knock out a wrestler in the ring, who he'd apparently had an incident with earlier in the day. Throughout the stream, he keeps saying that he's not gonna fake it and that it's not gonna be scripted when I get in there. He then proceeds to jump in the ring, slam the guy down, and then punch him about 20 times in the head legitimately. Not pro wrestling punches, laid into the guy and put him in the hospital. Assaulted a man in front of a live audience that had children in it for 50 subs. What's that, $250? Live on Kick. Again, the irony that the site is owned by an Australian. The video game Manhunt, where you play a character who is helping a rich asshole create snuff films, is banned in Australia. But the site that produced 1.5 snuff films in one weekend is owned by a rich Aussie. Now yeah, Kick has banned both Raja Jackson and 2 of the people involved in the Jean Pormanove video. That's their attempt at saving face. And Kick ambassador Adin Ross, who may have some ownership stake in the site, I don't really understand it, but whatever, has called this horrible and disgusting, and says that whoever was a part of this deserves to face severe consequences. Let me tell you something. Only 1 year ago, live on Kick, Adin Ross paid a 19-year-old money to drive his car into a lake or inlet, some sort of waterway, in a stunt that certainly could have resulted in injury or death. And he's pretending he gives a fuck about a French guy dying due to some sort of sleep deprivation challenge. Go sniff another seat, Aiden, you phony fuck. Hell, Kick's not concerned about this type of behavior. They promote it. You know how I said Jean was apparently pelted with paintballs by his friends during the streams that led to his death? Here's Adin Ross egging on XQC to shoot Mr. Beast in the legs with a paintball gun. Funny. Kick posted it on their socials. They promote this behavior. You don't find this horrible and disgusting, Adin. You fucking do it. This is Kick's biggest name, an absolute moron whose audience keeps tricking him into looking at nudes of his own sister. He says he's partnered with Drake to pay Jean's funeral expenses. Drake's in some other beef with the aforementioned Aussie owner of Kick over not getting paid enough or some shit. Who cares? But again, another great ambassador for the site. A dude who texts 14-year-olds. No, Kick, don't pretend you condemn this shit. This is your brand. Lean into it. In fact, here, you guys know me, I love to work for free. Here's a promo for an event you can have this winter. December 31st, live all day on Kick, ringing the new year around the world with Adin Ross. Broadcasting from the newly rebuilt Sandy Hook Elementary Gymnasium, with appearances by P. Diddy, R. Kelly, and special guest bartender Bill Cosby. Plus, Natalie Reynolds will drop poison into one of Mr. Beast's African wells when the clock strikes midnight in every time zone. Join us in person. Tickets are available to those 18 years and younger. Don't get your parents' permission. It's New Year's Eve with Adin Ross, all day long, December 31st, only on Kick, where we only platform the absolute best of the absolute worst.